Hey, how y'all doing? Let's do it to it. Excuse me. Sorry, just oops. Ah, give it another shot. See what we got. Ah. I think. Okay. We'll do maybe 50 or so puzzles. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do like to 70. I might be able to do maybe 50, 55. So let's do some good ones for learning. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, if they apply to the puzzle always, because we're a team. Let's see here. Yep. Let's see. King, A3, queens, and then knight B3 is mate. Let me see here. Yeah, that's a nice fork. You always got to look for the most forcing lines. I'm always looking for like checks, checkmates, and then you have to go through, as I like to call the Rolodex of tactics. So you kind of can eliminate by elimination, like no checks, no double checks, no discoveries. So we go for a fork. and then we take the rook. So you just go through that and you should be able to find the moves. But then it comes to your visualization, and that just comes with time. Let me see here. Yeah, that does win material, doesn't it? That is a good. Let's see, is there any continuation that they could do? I don't think so. You always gotta just check. I don't think so. I think rook takes h3. If the queen moves to, let's say, f2. Huh. Boy, are we overlooking anything? I'm trying to figure out, because after this you always got to see what their continuation is. Let me see. Queen. Well, probably you could take. Well, would you want to take? Boy, this is a kind of a tricky one. You always got to make sure that. It probably is rook takes h3, but I just want to make sure I visualize it. Let me see. Rook takes h3, queen f2. That makes sense. Yeah, because here. And then there. Oh, yeah. That kicks the. Doesn't that kick the queen out? We'll give it a shot. Worst that happens is. Oh, wow. The queen took. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought the queen was going to move. That was the best continuation for the player who are, if it was a setup puzzle, that would be the best continuation. But you know what? You got to deal with the puzzles you got. Let's see here. Let's see there. Yeah. Try to figure that. Oh, wait a second. I think we can make a pass pawn. Can we? Can we actually do that, or is it winning? So you have to always figure in these end games. Do you want? Can you actually afford to take and then play there? So if I'm just checking to see b4, a takes b4. I think we can actually potentially get. Well, is his pawn faster though? So you have to always consider this move here. If we play here, takes, there, 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 and queens. So I'm sure it's boy. These ones are really, these are the tough ones here, because if you make one wrong move, if we take the pawn, we lose the opportunity of playing rook e5. See, rook e5. let's see, he comes here, we take there, he takes there. Boy, I'm probably overcomplicating this. So he rotates d5, and we're up a whole bishop. So rotates d5. Actually, that covers d1. So he can't really go after our pawns after that. I'm going to take the pawn. Yeah. There's no way to win but taking the pawn. Well, that was a pretty, for a 1000 level, that was a pretty interesting puzzle for an endgame, for sure. I see that sometimes it's the simplicity of the puzzles that will make you sometimes not get the right answer. Okay, let's see, the bishop moved here. So is there any way to take advantage? See, when a piece is on pre like this, on d7, sometimes you can actually make a plan based around that piece being on pre. Or what on pre means is, if you're probably wondering, it means a piece that isn't protected. So you could take advantage of unprotected pieces sometimes and make like setups about that. Okay. That makes, yeah. So bishop takes. So bishop takes f5. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's actually what I was thinking, was removing the pawn here. That actually, and then queen to h5, and that wins. And then queen takes, g6, and then you win a piece. Yep. Took a second for me to see that actually works, and as our team, of course. Let's see here. Yeah, queen just in time. Rook g5 is interesting. I think the sacrifice actually works. Rook g5. Yeah. It actually works. Just had to run it through my visualization board in my brain. Oh, rook gf f8 is good. If knight here, then you take. Knight there. Okay. Alright. I guess he wanted to get banned. Boy. Some have bad tempers. Yeah. And it's all about chess and learning and having fun. As long as you're constantly learning, that's what it's all about. Improving and getting better. And like what my grandmaster teacher told me was, with the improvement comes the rating. So you just have to be patient. Just trying to figure out. I think that's the best because there's no. The one thing that I can see that he might try. No, he wouldn't do that. Could try and move the bishop, but if he does, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Wow. Okay, that loses a knight. Didn't think he was gonna do that. Well, that was one of the options, but man, that was a shocker. Let's see, we are threatening mate here with if we play rook d2, that does threaten mate. Just got to figure out if c8 check, potentially you can actually play king h7. See, what you have to think about here is this here you don't really want to take when you move rook d2, and let's say your opponent plays rook c8, right? Check. You don't want to take the rook because of one problem. If you did take the rook, the queen would take back, and then you would try to go to h7, and the queen could slide in, and then you would have a mating. They'd actually be able to checkmate you. So you don't want to do that. We want to actually play rook d7. After rook c8, we play king h7, and the queen doesn't have f5 to work with for a mating threat. Sometimes they may let's give it a shot. I believe this is right. Oh wow, the queen actually did it. Okay, let's win the queen and then play rook h7. You have to, with some of those puzzles, look like 3 or 4 or 5 moves out. It's those variations, those long ones. If you don't take time and work them, you'll end up missing them. It's that one move that you say to yourself, I don't need to calculate that, and then all of a sudden it's that one that misses the mate, and you pick something else rather than that one, and it seems right. You know what I mean. It's one of those things. But that's where learning comes in. Let me see here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. A takes b5. A takes b5. Nothing there. Let's see. Let's be on the lookout here. Let's see if any of you have kind of a idea on this. This one's kind of interesting. It takes. Is it d5? Is d5 a move after pawn takes? Is rook b5 an idea? Kind of stumped on this one. I think we have to take first. Yeah, I think that is the correct one. Okay, there. Oh, we took that way. Wow, that's interesting. Well, I guess maybe the reason is they want to play rook c8 to attack our queen. That does make sense. Then bishop takes. But let me see. Bishop takes, b5, pawn takes, rook takes. Maybe we can actually double up on that one. Is there a mate there? Yeah, I'm thinking about, I like that move, and then rook takes. The king's exposed at that point, and that one's all about the vulnerable king, I believe. Some of these are kind of interesting for sure. Let's see. Bishop takes, A, pawn takes, queen takes check, king, B, queen check, C, bishop check, king, there. I think it's only a draw if we take with the bishop on A. I know if we take bishop takes A6, well, we do get a passed A4 pawn, so that might be worth the sacrifice of the piece, but it's kind of slow. Be right back. And you can take a look at it, see if there's any lines you want to go over, and then we'll take a look at them. guess when you get up for a second and walk around, the puzzle looks a little different. Let me see. Yeah, because this actually, knight e5, threatens two pieces at the same time. Wow. It actually took. That's shocking. I think our opponent could have held if they would have just retreated. Let me see. Okay, pawn push, knight there. Let's see if the queen retreated back to e8. Oh, bishop takes knight, pawn takes. That one's interesting. I have to. That one's an interesting one. I gotta remember to take a look at that. Bishop takes c. I'm thinking though, wouldn't if bishop e8, wouldn't the bishop takes and then g takes? Oh, I see why. Because then, oh, if g took, then the queen would check. Gotcha. Gotcha. And then you actually can move in with your knight. Oh wow. That is intense. That's an interesting one. I always like some of those complex ones. It's sad that they end so soon because it'd be interesting for the continuation to see what would happen. Okay, dokie. I think knight takes f. Let's see, knight takes f5. Queen takes d1. E takes d1. Rook takes e4. Rook d. Eight check. Let's see here. So knight takes. Queen takes. Check. Queen takes. Rook takes. Knight d6. So this does work. And then knight d6. Oh, not knight d6. Is it check then? Is it check then knight d6? What did I miss? Rook d1 first. Oh, because that does a fork, doesn't it? Okay, yeah. That was a fork. One move too ahead of myself. Yeah, I think it would be equal material at that point. Equal material. Is this rook g1? I think rook g1 is actually the continuation because it's threatening mate. I think rook g1, it threatens mate. So rook g1, rook g1, g6, and then bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, and then queen takes f3, f6, and you're up a whole piece in that line. There you go. Let's see. E3, bishop takes g5. Or not g5, g4. F takes g2. Bishop. D1 check, and then king A5, I think. Oops, not A5. What am I talking about? That's the white king. Sorry, I had the wrong kings. That's the whole point. This works. Now, when they took, we play G3 and F4, G2, and they can't stop it. Now we take here, and we're good to go. King D6. If king F8, king D7, and there's no way to stop the queen. We can actually push E7, king F7, king D7, A3, queen check. Thinking the most forcing move is that move, yeah. You could move your king up, but it's a little, it actually gives the opponent a move. And so the king has to actually deal with E7 at that present moment. It's the one tempo we need. Yep, that's right. That's right. Okay. I'm thinking we have to consider bishop takes because then we'd actually be a bishop ahead in theory. Actually, we'd be 4 pawns ahead, so they gotta take on this. The king has to take, so just grab that. The king takes. I'm wondering if rook takes b4. No, we don't want to do that. Ah, I got it. Rook e2, king there. Yep, we got it. Hey, how you doing? Check here. Check. And then you win the queen. Hey, Hippo Defense, how you doing? Oh, really excellent. I gotta say, we're having fun doing tactics. It's always fun when you're able to do chess and use the gift the Lord's given us, Lord Jesus has given us. So let's see here. Boy, I want to play this. I'm trying to look for a tempo for that. So I'm wondering if knight takes e4 doesn't come. That the knight takes e4. Yeah, that was an interesting. That was interesting. Some of those puzzles get real complex. They're not they're like they have tactics in them, like, but they're as deep. Yeah, we are. We're a team, and that's how we get better. Just gotta make sure. Let me see if it takes. Yeah, there's no problem with taking here, and then bishop h4, and you win the queen. Just had to take a second to make sure that that was correct. The pin wins. That's what I always say. It's the pin that wins. Okay, let me see. If we play bishop takes c3, a6. Bishop takes c3, a6. We don't want to do b2 because bishop h7 stops that, so we would actually have to play b takes a2, then a7, then queen. Let me see here. Right here, there, queens. I think we can actually check on b2. King comes back, and then we actually checkmate. Yep, let's do it. Oops, I gotta take the knight first. Then we take, then we queen, and that wins. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so pawn push takes on f3. So a5 for white. Bishop takes f3. a6. Pawn takes a2. Or b takes a2. a7. a6. Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, you're right. The queen would take on g7.
And then after our pawn takes, king takes, then we queen, and we get a new queen. Yeah. Yep, that's the only, we actually win. We actually sacrifice our queen for their queen, and we're two squares away from queening on a1 again. And so we get a new queen and win. Gotta love that. Okay, dokie. I'm thinking knight c4 check. If king d4, a7, a7. So a7 first, rotates d. Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Because you could actually, okay, I missed king e2. I was thinking that you'd have to play knight c4 first. Yeah. Yeah, you have to actually block. The reason you had to do that is you have to block that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because a7 rotates d3, check, of course, and then king to e2, which attacks the rook. I'm thinking, and then we go king takes king e2, and then knight d7. Knight d7. If king up, then knight to b8. Knight b8, and then thinking we queen. Do we queen? We queen. Rook takes. I'm thinking we have to queen. Rook takes. I don't really see any other. And then we just have to play strategic from there. Well, we have mate here. We have queen d8 check, king g7, h6 check, king takes h6, queen f8 check, king g5, and then f4 mate. Let's do it. Gotta love those pawn checkmates. See, queen a4 check, b3. Yeah, I know this is the first because we have to be forcing. Oh, the knight moves. Interesting. I thought for sure b3. Huh. Oh, wow. b3 would be mate after queen. Wow, that's a double exclam. Yeah, back here, if b3, we could do a double exclam maneuver. Queen takes a2, rook takes a2, and then rook takes c1, mate. Wow, that is interesting. That's intense right there. Okay, so now we can actually play queen takes c4 check, king d2, and then bishop b4 mate. It's too bad I can't somehow trade the queens off and get a knight here to win that, but oh wow. Queen, knight takes. Yeah, I missed that you could actually take here. Knight takes, bishop takes a2. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, bishop takes, queen takes. Takes. Or is it? Or is it? So bishop takes. No. Well, that wins. Oh, it's a bishop. Well, yeah, we could actually save our position. We could actually be a whole piece up with the knight on a8. Nice. Yeah, that's a whole piece. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Great job, team. C3 potentially. Oops, C3, sorry, C3. B4. Oh, interesting. Oh, oh, I know what. Oh, that is so, oh. Always look for, yeah. because if we play b, I understand why b4. I was wondering why b4. We draw the queen. If we played b4, we draw the queen to b4, and it gives up this whole a5 to d8 diagonal, which allows our knight then to jump in after, of course, we play our bishop to d3. But and if knight blocks, then we still have, that's mate. The queen would have to sack itself for mate. Yeah, that has to be the most forcing. And then this actually threatens mate, so the queen has to give its life for that. Okay, b. Wow, that reminds me of a kind of Simon Williams sacrifice, Grandmaster Simon Williams. When you play Harry h4, not h4, Harry, I think it's h5, and when the knight takes the rook, and then yeah, the queen takes back, and you have that huge mating line. You gotta love those attacks when you get that. So rook takes. I'm thinking the most forcing move might be rook takes c6 or rook takes e6. Because oh man, d5. That's a fork. I didn't see that. Yeah, because this, yeah, because that forces if if e takes d5, rook takes f6, and that wins material. Because you win the queen at that point. Tried. I should have seen. I should have seen that. That all you have to do is remove the rook, and it's protecting. I gotta look for those. Yeah, I didn't even think of that sacrifice. We might just get to 50 tonight, just so we can, stay at our about 50. Because I'm a little bit tired tonight, so gotta be honest. Let's see here. But gotta always put in the time, even if you're tired, for chess. Never not put in time. You have to. See here, if there, then rook b1 checkmate. So that handles that. Oh, we can actually pick up material with here, there, here, and then we win there. So let's take the knight. Oops, first we have to check. We have to play check here. Yeah. Queen f4. It's actually queen f4 check. King g1. And then rook b1. Okay. That does make sense. Rook b1. Rook g1. Queen check on f3, king up, and then check. So there. Let me see here. Check. King there. Check. King back and mate. Okay. Yeah, I gotta remember to look for those. I got too greedy with the piece. Then I realized the queen was protecting the bishop, so you wouldn't be able to take it at that point. You gotta come up with a new plan. We could do 10. We'll get 10 in, and then I'll probably call it on that. Let's see here. Because you gotta always, I guess I repeated myself again, you gotta always put in the time no matter what. You have to put in a certain amount even if you're tired, because that's how you improve. Let's see here. Look for the most forcing move. Bishop takes f7. Queen takes f7. That's like one of the most. There's no check. Well, there's a check with the queen. Yeah, this has to be the first move sequence here. There. Now you play knight takes d7. that's the most forcing line. Queen takes d7 and then pawn e4. Then pawn e4. And you win the knight. There we go. Let me see here. Okay, most forcing tactical move. Let's look for the most forcing tactical move here. Let's see. Queen d7. Sorry, Queen d7. See the most forcing move. All right. Let's earn these 8 more puzzle, 8 more problems. We always earn them, but I mean that just sounded good. Let me see here. So forcing moves. Let's see, knight. I think it's knight takes f7. Let's check that out. Knight takes f7 check. Let's see, knight takes f7. King h5. No, it could be bishop. Let's see if bishop checks. Okay, somehow we need to remove the queen off that diagonal, or off that file, so we can use it. Well, it'd be G4. G4 check would be G4 check would be a good move, but we're pinned, so we can't really do that. And there's also Queen E5 check is one. Oops. Queen E5 check is also one. Oh, I think I got it. Queen C8. So knight F2, knight F7 check, king H5. Oh, bishop takes F6. So it's just take the bishop. That was funny. That's even simpler, yeah. Why complicate the matter? Let me see here. How do we continue? Bishop takes G5. It has to be bishop takes G5. I think bishop takes G5, bishop takes G5 is the winning move. I think that has to be the right move because yeah. You want G6? Oh, interesting. So pawn takes G5. Okay. Yeah, alright. That's better then. Because you want to be able to push with check. Okay, that's more forcing. I see that now. Oh, knight C. Oh, let's say knight takes C. E4 check. F takes E4. knight to c3, rook takes d7, knight takes d1 check, king e2, and rook takes d7. I'm thinking that's the correct move. Let's see, knight takes e4, f takes e4 here, knight takes c3, and rook takes d, check, rook takes d, and you're up in exchange. Oh, knight after knight takes c3. If white were to take, I think is it white were to take back? Yeah, if white were to take back, knight takes c3, rook takes d2 check, rook takes d2 check, rook takes d2, and then rook takes d2 check. You're still up. That's the line. Yep, that's right. I got it. Got it. Queen d6 check, king if king c1, queen f4 check, and then we have rook f1. I think it's the most forcing line. Well, if queen d6, queen queen e2, then rook d3. So it's probably rook d2 that he'll play. So I was thinking queen d6 check, rook d2, queen f4. Oh, yeah, that is a better move. I was yeah, because then rook f1. Oh, I should have seen that. I was close, but not close enough. Oh, that's not fun. Yeah. You have to force. I was looking for a pin on the queen. I just had the wrong. It's one of those quiet moves. You have a quiet move you have to do. Say rook d2, queen f1. You can't stop that. Yeah, I'm thinking it's um, rook d2, queen f1, queen takes e3 check, queen f2, queen takes g5. Not king, sorry. How did I get king there? I thought I put a queen. That should be a queen. Let's do it to it. Let's put it in. Oh wow. What am I overlooking here?
Same method. Knight h4. Rook takes g2 check. Okay. Rook a1 a h1. No, because no. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep. Yeah. I think that's got to be the. And then he takes there. Let's see. Check. Up. Check. Oh yeah, there's rook takes e1, c takes d5, and then queen takes d5 check, and it wins. Makes sense here. Yeah. Let's see. Uh-oh. Is my mouse not working? Hold on. There we go. And then this picks up a queen. Yeah, my mouse wasn't kind of being good. Let's see, check here. I think we've had this one before. Rook takes h7. Takes g4. I gotta remember this one. This one has to do with winning. Yeah. Yeah, you pick a rook up in this one. This one is, I'm thinking it's rook takes h7 check, king g4, rook h4 check, king g5. Yeah, this is, yep. And then g4, I believe, let me see. g4, king takes, yeah. And then rook g5, and then you pick up a rook. Yeah, so it was like, it was something to do with that type of a line. One of them actually led to mate. I believe this one is king e3, knight takes a5,
Then you play g2, check, king, g1, and then you play king e2. I think that's the right one. And then you're able to queen. I think that's the right queen. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, I'm thinking, had to make sure g2. Oh, that's okay. That's the move. Now f2, king takes g2. Well, actually, king e2 now. King e2 now, and yeah, king e2, f2. Yeah, I think you're right because you have to save the pawn, and then king e2, king e2 at that point. Yep. Yeah. Okay. We'll call it on this here. I know that we probably can go more, but a little tuckered out here, so we'll probably call it here. I appreciate all the lessons that we got on that. So let's we'll just probably call it here though. Okay. So do you have any questions or anything? Anybody that on any of the puzzles? I'll say no then. Okay. Wanted to thank you all in one play with for some of the, you know, that was some good learning on forcing moves. There's also a really good book. It's called Forcing Moves too as well. And surprisingly, that's the name of the book, and it teaches you to spot how the computers they do brute force tactics. And so if you're wanting a book that has brute force tactics in it, that's a good book to look at. And you can, what I do is sometimes I set them up on the chessboard, and then before I even look at the problems or the solution, I try to solve it myself, and then do the best you can with doing that, even if you have to put a like a white flashcard over the solution so that you can set up the board and not have the temptation to look at the answer. You then will learn so much more from those. And if you get stumped and you're frustrated, then look at the solutions, and that's how you learn. And because then you can say, now I understand why that is. And it's worth putting in the time. Just trust me, it is. When you can solve those over the board at the tournaments, and you get to basically get a W or a 1 on your side, it's all worth those times that you studied, and when you were tired, you just kept going. That's why choices and the choice to receive the Lord Jesus, Lord and Savior, is vital. It's as important as when you're the king of your army. So every move that you make determines the life or death of your soldiers. You at the beginning own 32 squares of the board, and your whole I of course the whole goal is checkmate or take over all the 64 squares, but you are the one that moves the pieces. And so that's why Bruce Lee says you need to take what you know and apply it and be willing to do something with it. What that means is, you know what, you got to pull out the boards, over the boards, look at the books, or if you have a puzzle that you're kind of frustrated on with chess.com and you don't want to get it wrong, stop there, get a board, set that up on the over the board and see if you can solve it that way. But you know what? It all comes down to the Team Chess Cruncher motto of hanging up your coats, hanging up your hats, sitting down and studying when most won't. Team Chess Cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll keep pushing forward. And remember what Hannibal Smith said. He said that even inside of a random position, there's always a plan. And when you get to find it, you get to say, I love it when a plan comes together. But I pray that you also receive the Lord Jesus, Lord and Savior. And if you're thinking about that, keep thinking about it. Don't put it off. We have to decide one day what we're going to do with the Lord Jesus. But remember to have fun with chess always. And to, you know what, just keep pushing forward. Don't get frustrated. And the progress will come as long as you put in the time and you do what Bruce Lee says. Remember that plateaus are part of life, but the Lord has made us with an infinite capacity to learn. And so, do you know what? For a while, the plateaus are part of learning. So don't get frustrated. Hang in there. Team Chess Cruncher is behind you. So hoorah. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Be blessed. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye-bye, team.